Some football today as well. I mentioned we'll have Carl Jones on coming up at 8 o'clock. And when we do, we'll get to a lot on not just the draft, because there's a lot to happen before the draft. The draft's in, a little over 2 months still. But free agency is just a few weeks away. And there'll be trade conversations, I'm sure, all throughout the combine as you're going to get GMs speaking and agents are going to be there leaking things. And, hey, yesterday you had a little of this, right? A.J. Brown dropping some hints. I mean, it was hard for him not to. He was asked directly about Mike Vrabel, someone that he has played under before, and what's he going to say. But he certainly didn't do anything to hide that he would want to go to New England. He said the quote, "We're all Patriots here," or something, right? We'll get some of the clips along the way. Like, that stuff's going to start happening. And Brown, by the way, there is an argument, I think, that you should want him because that's who New England's going to want. And how badly do you want to play that game? Blocking New England, if it's a position and a player that you would also want yourself. You're not going to block them just to block them, but A.J. Brown is the type of receiver and the level of receiver that I think this offense needs. I mean, I don't know how many people, though, he is the dream for. What's your dream idea? How many people are saying A.J. Brown? Because there are going to be what-ifs with everybody. But with him, it is, I don't know how much he's got left in the tank, how well he is going to age playing the type of way that he does at the position. But he is still only 28, so he should have a couple more years at that. The contract's not a bad thing for him because it's only going to cost him, the Bills or any team that trades for him, like $7 million. The price that you're giving up, though, to Philly will likely be more because they're the ones that have to eat all the money. And that's going to cause them to have to take on a big number. What's the best idea here? Is it Trey Hendrickson? Is it Max Crosby? Is it Brown? Is it Brian Thomas Jr.? Is it Budda Baker, who's a star safety that is maybe available in Arizona? It depends what they want to do, but that's going to be a bit of a what-if with all these guys right now. Like, how available are they really? These are all names, though, that you could reasonably get to. That guy could be traded. What's the best idea? If the Bills make one big swing on a veteran player, not anything pertaining to the draft, what is the right big swing? They have not really made one since they signed Von Miller. And the Bills signed Von Miller a long time ago. That was 4 years ago now that the Bills signed Von Miller. And since then, what's the biggest move they've made on a veteran player? Is it, I was going to say Bosa. That's a 1 year, third-rate contract at his position. I mean, that can't be the answer. What is the biggest thing they've done in that time? Because I'm not sure there really is a good answer to it. I think there's got to be an appetite from Brandon Beane and from the entire Bills organization to do something like that this offseason. They probably can only do one, though. Like New England, they can, if they wanted to, and they can pull it off, they have the room likely to do 2 or 3 of these. They could trade for A.J. Brown, and if they also want to be in the Trey Hendrickson game in free agency, they could probably do that too. The Bills, they probably have to pick one and go for it. And what is that one idea that they should pick? I am open to different ideas right now, but I'll tell you where I'm laying out. Larry, we'll get to your call and more phone calls at 803-0550 on what's the best idea. I think right now my 2 favorite ideas at 2 different positions are the Trey Hendrickson idea in free agency and the Brian Thomas Jr. idea in the trade market. Hendrickson is not the complete player that Max Crosby is. I just think they got to stop focusing on the all-around nature of what a defensive end is going to be able to do for you. It's not a bad thing to have those traits, but I think one thing I'm hoping is different about a Jim Leonhard defense versus what was true of a Sean McDermott defense is the Sean McDermott defense at that position, at defensive line and at the edge, there was a need to be able to do it all. You got to be good at setting the edge. You got to be responsible in your rush lanes, in your lanes when you're defending the run. And I'm hoping that under Jim Leonhard, it's more let him loose, hell-raising, pass rush, go get the quarterback at all costs. It almost kind of, to make a hockey comparable, it's like when Dahlin is on this team under Ralph Kruger. How is he asked to play? He's basically stapled to the blue line, and you don't go below the faceoff circle. You don't move between these two spots. You stay here, you stay there, because we need you to be sure that you are back and that you are being responsible in your own end. And that limited him as a player a lot. What did Don Granato come in to do? Go wherever you want. You want to take a chance and go down into the corner? You want to take a chance and go down into the slot? Go ahead. Do it. Go take chances. Make mistakes. Be willing to make a couple of mistakes because the reward is hopefully going to be enough to overcome that. And that is the same type of mentality that I'm hoping they approach at defensive end. If you do that, I think Hendrickson is your guy. The difference between Crosby and Hendrickson might just be that Crosby is a better all-around player, defending the run, setting the edge, not getting beat by running quarterbacks in rush lanes. Hendrickson, I feel like, is more of the, he might be lacking in a lot of those areas, but tell you what, a lot of those pressure numbers, pass rush win rate, sacks, you just want to go straight up sacks. This guy is giving you more than Max Crosby is. And you don't have to trade draft capital to get him. Either guy is going to cost you a lot of money on the cap and probably going to take up most of the money you have available this offseason. But one guy is going to cost you minimum a first-round pick. The other guy is not. And would I rather have Trey Hendrickson, who is a big splash at a position of need, star player, has led the league in sacks for multiple years, and use my first-round pick on whoever you want. Casey Concepcion, you want to do that? You get him and Hendrickson, or you just get Crosby. To me, that's an easy one. And on offense, to me, it's Thomas. I want to buy low on Brian Thomas. I want to see if I can get him for a second-round pick and something else of good value. I think that he is gettable. I don't think he's as gettable as he probably was 2 weeks ago because the Jaguars seem to have decided that Travis Hunter's going to play more corner. But for Thomas, it's the explosion that he has. It is the rookie season that he had and what he was as a prospect. And to me, you pair him with Josh Allen, and you would hope that that is going to be what he needs to get back to the 1,300-yard receiver, 10-touchdown guy that he was 2 years ago. And for him, it's also age for me. It's contract control. It's I can pair a Brian Thomas trade because he doesn't cost a lot on the cap with a Trey Hendrickson move. Honestly, I guess I'm kind of cheating here, right? I'm saying my dream idea is both of them because I think they're maybe two of the only ideas I could pair together that work. If I trade for Max Crosby, I'm not going and getting Brian Thomas also because of the draft capital that it's probably going to cost. If I trade for Brian Thomas, I'm probably not also trading for, A.J. Brown. I like the idea of both of them. It's going to be really hard to execute, but I think Thomas is my number one idea on offense and Hendrickson on defense. But for you, it could be Baker, it could be Crosby, it could be Brown, it could be somebody that I'm not mentioning here. Let me know what you think. 803-0550, let's go to Larry in South Florida. What's up, Larry?
Hey, good morning, guys. Just quick little side note. I walked my dog this morning, Joe, and I didn't really have any ice or snow to worry about, so it wasn't
Nice.
too bad. Yeah.
What is it, 75 minimum?
It's a little chilly 72 this morning, but, we're dealing with it. And I am golfing later this afternoon. So
This guy.
I stink, though, Joe. You guys are actually good. So you said dream big, and I love your idea. I love Brian Thomas. I love A.J. Brown, and I love Hendrickson. But you said dream big, so I'm going to go really big.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, I watched the YouTube Chris Trapasso, his restructuring of contracts, who you would target in free agency. I loved his defensive selections, and I love the idea of Romeo Dobbs. And I've always loved A.J. Brown. I think Brian Thomas is great, and to get either one of those guys would be a dream scenario. However, I want to keep the idea of getting Dobbs in a couple of the safety, and it was a linebacker and even a rush defensive edge. He said we could get in free agency after all the restructuring. But my big dream is to take this year's number one, not 27s, but 28s, and it might even take a little bit more than that, some later round picks. Go get Justin Jefferson. Mm-hmm. And then if you get Jefferson, Dobbs, and then you keep Shakir, and maybe get a middle round receiver, you're set.
Yeah.
And not only did you get the number one, but you got all the accompanying pieces, so we can finally say, here you go, Josh. You can now compete with Cincinnati's receivers. You can compete with Dallas's receivers. And now this is your time to shine. If they do the restructuring, the amount of money freed up, they can afford to make this move. Would I love to get a Hendrickson? Yes. More than a Crosby, like you said? Yes. However, think about last year, all we did is spend money and time and energy on our defense. And as a matter of fact, that's all we really have done. That year that we drafted Rousseau in the first round and then Boogie Basham in the second round, I wanted to smash my head into the wall. I could not believe that we still ignored wide receiver when we had a need back then to at least get a second receiver. Here is our time. We now have an offensive coordinator who's now our head coach. We have an aggressive defensive coordinator. We brought in who's the guy they just brought in? Fox?
John Fox.
Who I think is a smart move, just, to have some, a veteran for advice and someone to lean on. But to go after Jefferson, who's already said he would love to be with our head coach.
Yep. Hey, Larry, sorry, I gotta cut off here because I gotta get to a break. But I want to talk about Jefferson when we come back. That is you said big idea. That's the biggest idea, I think. And I'll tell you where I stand on Jefferson as a concept right now when we come back. Here on WGR, also now, of course, on 107.7 and 104.7 WGR FM.